Welcome to Panther Sports. Now, we've been thinking about the British. They've given us some good guys: Lennox Lewis, Joe Calzaghe, Chris Eubanks Sr., Prince Nassim. A lot of good guys over there. Got us thinking about who's next. In this video, we're looking at 5 guys who could be the next British boxing stars. The order of this list is not a ranking, it's merely the order of the list. Moses Itauma needs little introduction at this stage. Still only 20, he is the leading light among young British fighters. Itauma has buzzsawed through his opponents to date, burning very brightly indeed. He is also, however, 13-0, a rookie. Itauma has looked so good that the boxing world is starting to needlessly find issues with his game and choice of opponents. While turning down an IBF eliminator fight doesn't make a huge pile of sense on the surface, the reality is we are exactly where we have been for the last 12 months. Itauma needs rounds. Is it a good idea to only discover rounds 7, 8, 9 through 12 while you're in with Frank Bloody Sanchez in your 14th pro fight? For reference, Tyson Fury in his 14th fight took on Marcelo Nascimento. Yeah, me neither. Our prediction for Moses in 2026? Savvy Frank Warren has seen it all before. He knows how good Moses can be, but he also knows that Moses needs rounds, and that's what Frank's going to try to line up. Joe Joyce, Jermaine Franklin, Philippe Hrgovic. These names represent good options, and I suspect that's what Frank is going to look for. Adam Azim, nicknamed the Assassin. The 23-year-old British-Pakistani super lightweight from Slough worked summers at Wernham Hogg, now undefeated at 13-0 with 10 knockouts. He captured the IBO super lightweight title in February 2025 by stopping Sergei Lipinets in the 9th round at Wembley. Azim is represented poorly by Boxer, which is a boxing management agency that cannot spell boxer. Under the astute guidance of their PR department, most of the talk has centred around Azim allegedly ducking domestic rival Dalton Smith. For now, the pair seem set on separate paths, with Azim due to face 20-2 Zaur Abdullayev on the Eubank Jr. Ben 2 undercard. Abdullayev, last seen in action losing to Raymond Muratalla in an IBF interim world title fight, is another step up for Azim. Our prediction for Adam Azim in 2026. 2026 will see Azim hopefully challenge for a world title in the wake of a good showing against Abdullayev. Pat Brown, 6'6" cruiserweight out of Manchester, 2024 Olympian, good friend of Dave Allen. A 2-time national champion with GB Boxing, he signed a long-term deal with Matchroom and turned pro earlier this year. He stopped all 4 opponents so far, debut TKO over Federico Grandone, and quick finishes of Ivan Duca, Lewis Oakford and Austin Namdi. Not soup cans, but still mediocre soup like you might find at a large corporate event nobody really cared about. Brown is trained by Jamie Moore and Nigel Travis and managed by Sam Jones. The long-term plan for Brown is to move to heavyweight, which makes a lot of sense given his frame. Eddie Hearn, self-servingly, called him the future of British boxing. Our prediction in 2026 for Pat? So there are no shortage of interesting tests at cruiser on the domestic scene for Brown. And given his popularity and Matchroom's promotional heft, we reckon 2026 will see Brown fight for an English, possibly a British title. Aloys Youmbi, aka the Animal, stands a muscle-bound 6 foot even. Youmbi burst onto the scene by taking on a stiff test in his pro debut. On a few hours' notice, he jumped in with Polish prospect Michal Sichinski, who's now 10-0 himself. Youmbi was dropped early, but showed great heart and composure under fire to storm back into the contest, ultimately losing an absolute belter of a 4-rounder, 38-39 on the ref's scorecard. Backed by Queensberry, he's cleaned up early fights with stoppages, but also shown he can take on tough assignments like Oranzo Berardi over 10 rounds with the IBO Intercontinental Cruiserweight belt on the line, although to be fair, you can find an IBO belt at your nearest car boot sale. Youmbi's major strengths lie in his power, finishing instinct, and an improving ring IQ. Our prediction for Youmbi in 2026. 2026 will see Youmbi build on the Elias Zaro victory with another fight against an opponent of a similar level. Facing Pratt Brown for the Commonwealth would be a great fight, but one suspects Frank and Eddie would try to avoid that. Royston Sugar Boy Roy Barney-Smith, a British southpaw with a glittering amateur record who turned pro in 2022. Now just 21, he has already amassed a 14-0 record with 7 KOs in the pro ranks, picking up the pointless WBO youth belt along the way. With trainer Wayne Batten in Southampton and promotional backing from Frank Warren, Royston has a bright future. He is undeniably stylish, gliding across the ring, adopting a primarily defensive game interspersed with spells of aggressive two-handed hitting. He takes on 13-0-1 Danny Quartermain on the Parker Wardley undercard, which will be over 10 rounds. Our prediction for Royston Barney-Smith in 2026. In 2026, Barney-Smith will build on his victory over Quartermain and challenge for a British or maybe even some class of European title. Thanks for watching Panther Sports. Let us know in the comments which British prospect excites you the most. And don't forget to subscribe for more boxing highlights and rising stars. Stay safe, keep your guard up.